Greetings, everyone. Coming at you with much peace, power, and positivity. It's Truth Will Rise, and I am back. And the point of me doing this video was off some conversations that I had been having over the past few days. And as you know, with all the things that are going on in terms of the police shooting down black people like it's going out of style, when things of this nature happens, the internet racists come out, and, you know, the keyboard cowboys come out of the dark corners, and they use the anonymity or the relative safety of the internet to say things that they normally wouldn't have the stones to say in public. And with all of the white supremacist rhetoric that's out there, it doesn't change. It's pretty much all the same. And it's usually used as a deflectionary tactic, a straw man, if you will, to try to get off discussing the real issues or whatever's going on. We were having a discussion about some of the recent comments made by Stacey Dash and Charles Barkley and things of that nature. And some people came in the discussion and were talking about something that didn't even have anything to do with the matter at hand. They were basically trying to say that because the name of the website had the word black in it, that it was somehow racist for black people basically to have their own media outlet, which is, one, it's stupid. Two, it's wrong. And by that manner of thinking, I guess do they feel the same way about Al Jazeera? Because you never hear them going to Arabic or Muslim people and saying these things. You've got the Logo channel. You've got several others that escape me right now that are for different groups of people. Now, the problem with this, and this is where white privilege comes in, is because NBC doesn't, or ABC, or Fox, or the Disney Channel, or ESPN, or some of these other networks out there, and don't say BT because we don't own black entertainment television. They're white owned. They obviously cater to the dominant society, so they don't have to put it in there. In a way, it's almost understood, which is why when it is not, it's almost an aberration to them, and they get angry about that, and they try to pull the race card, which black people by definition can't be racist because racism is systematic and we don't have the infrastructure to oppress anyone. But that's another story. You see this whenever black people are talking about empowering themselves or owning their own businesses or owning their own media. You will usually get people like this to come out of the woodworks. And we need our own media, one, so we can inform our own people without having to conform to the whims or without having to worry about making the dominant society uncomfortable, without having to worry about having your content pulled because it calls certain things to the carpet that are going on. Then you need it to not only inform your people but to tell their stories, because if you have your own media, then things like that stupid Exodus movie don't happen. Things like some of the other examples of shows with black faces but nonetheless are chock full or overflowing with coonery, those don't happen. Again, that can add to our economic base by employing black writers, reporters, editors, camera people, if you're talking about a network, and if you're talking about having an internet presence, writers and graphic designers and things of that nature. So you're employing your own people. So you will often hear this, but the thing we have to understand is not to fall for it and not to to get so wrapped up in refuting that straw man argument that we get sidetracked from the main issue, which, as we know, is systematic white supremacy. And that was the thing. When you keep coming back to that, you keep coming back and nailing them down on that issue, they'll get angry. And that's what happened in some of these discussions. And it is important that we do get focused on building an economic base and not get distracted when people try to make the claims that somehow it is wrong for black people to do these things, like they tried to do with you may remember several months ago with the Larry Johnson thing, when all he said, all the people that were crying these comments were racist and stupid, none of them actually read it, because all he said is we need to own a league. Not that other people couldn't play in the league, that we need to be the owners. We need to own teams, which is true. You know, we don't have a lot of minority ownership in sports, and we need to have our own, you know, we need to be in on that. If we're speaking of basketball, the NBA, for instance, we make up a majority of the league, but yet we make up a minuscule amount of ownership. And that's all he was saying. And that's just another example of when somebody says, you know, melanated people need to go into business ownership, and people trying to attack what he said as racist. So if that happens, don't let it distract you. Understand it's just a straw man to try to get you from discussing the matter at hand. But we have to continue to get focused on building an economic base, owning our own businesses, teaching our children entrepreneurship, and that's one of the ways we can help turn this around. But I have rambled on long enough. This is The Truth Will Rise. I am signing out. Want to wish everyone again much peace, much power, much prosperity, and positivity. Peace.